There is a lot of information out in the world on the internet, but not all of it is helpful. Also, they use big fancy words and you think you understand, or you do what they say and you still don't see any result, and you're confused why the same thing has happened. Different faces, but same places, same energy. Like all you're trying to do is be a better person and improve yourself and achieve your desires, but everything is confusing, or you have to pay for some course or master class because they aren't free. Well, I'm here to share with you how I reinvented myself and switched reality, some truths and clarities to the spiritual journey so that you can become closer to your higher self. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Key. I'm a spiritual R&B artist musician who loves self-improvement and healing. I'd like to start this video by saying, yes, you will face your fears, okay? You will be facing your fears, from irrational to highly valid in anyone's right mind. Okay, but there is nothing to fear, and no fear that you will be faced with is something that you genuinely cannot handle. The universe does not operate like that, okay? There's nothing scary, there's nothing demonic, there's nothing evil. You are safe, you are seen, you are unconditionally loved, and there is room for all of you, the good, the bad, and even the ugly. So let's start with how I reinvented myself. So the person that I was before was very shy. Okay, never spoke my true feelings, never spoke up for myself, always hid my true desires in fear that someone else would steal it. Yeah, I had crazy anxiety, and at the time I didn't even know what anxiety was. I just felt this feeling and it was like, we gotta go. Lots of self-doubt, lots of self-deprecation, because that was also a trend at one point. Very confused, very unfocused. I had shiny object syndrome. I dimmed my own light. I was a chronic people pleaser. I overworked myself. But now I'm a million times more confident in myself and my abilities. I'm going after all the things that I truly desire. Like, I even have a vision board. It's just chilling out in the open, and normally I wouldn't. Like, this whole corner, this is my sacred corner, okay? I wouldn't share this corner with anyone, but I've been filming only my videos in this corner. It is my most authentic self, and I'm sharing that. Going after my desires, regardless if people see me fail or see me trying or just any of that. I'm so much nicer to myself, and my self-talk is so much more loving and comforting. I experience the emotions of peace and joy and clarity more often than not. I respond to things that usually make me want to hide or go into like abandonment mode way differently. I'm doing my damn thing. And while I still have so much to learn, I have come so far. We're not the same person. But this didn't come all at one time. If you're serious about reinventing yourself and spiritually growing, I want you to throw the concept of time out the window, because healing is not linear. There's not one step trick to healing, reinventing yourself, switching timelines. Like, once you do, you'll be a different person, right? And then that different person has different challenges, so you still have to continue to learn and continue to grow. And if you have certain, I'll call them trainings, but if you have certain things under your belt, no matter what level you're on, you can use those trainings. The moment some turbulence comes, you're going to rebound, you're going to revert back to where you started, and then guess what you'll be Googling again. So no, we're here for a long time, okay? Meaning, when something comes up, you know how to handle it. So when something that used to give you anxiety, you respond with ease. When that old person shows up in your life, you either don't respond at all because they don't deserve your time and energy, or you respond with boundaries. So what does it mean to reinvent yourself, to quantum jump, to put yourself first? It means building. A key word here is building a deep relationship with yourself, so much so that you know when something is off or about to be off. You know you are worthy, you know yourself, you know the universe has your back. It's all a knowing. All confidence is I like who I am, I like what I do, and I like how I do it. For another example, Abraham Hicks uses a random stranger calling you to tell you that they'll never talk to you again. And you'd be like, you called me though. So like, why are we having this conversation? Why are you telling me this? What does that mean for me? Nothing, obviously. You gotta have that energy with yourself. If you're gonna gatekeep something, gatekeep the beliefs you have about yourself. You have to know that you're worthy, okay, and that you are able to experience happiness, because knowing is what will influence your choices on this physical plane. You have to create room for your adult self and your child self to be free from the heart. You got to be in your own world. For example, let's say version 1 of you is not confident. You know for a fact you are not confident. You're not gonna make the choice or the action to begin that art class, to talk to that person, to apply for that job, to start that YouTube channel, or to put boundaries in place. It's like a tree with no roots. You'll stay away from things that you believe that you aren't good at. And on the other side, version 2 of you know for a fact you are confident, okay? You know that you've got this. You know that the world is your oyster. You're in your own world. You're more inclined to begin that art class, to talk to that person, to apply for that job, to go to that YouTube channel, to put in those boundaries, to put your foot down. Yeah, you might not know what you're doing, but you're secure with yourself and the fact that you're learning. Your security is rooted in, I know who I am, and I like what I do, and I like how I do it. And I'm pretty sure the person that you want to be experiences stability, worthiness. So the choices that you make and the individual thoughts that you think is what determine the reality you live in. And boom, you just quantum shift, you just quantum jumped, you just reinvented yourself. All of those fancy words of saying changing yourself and becoming your higher self, that's what you did. People will hear that and they'll go, oh, I've made different choices and I'm still with the guy who treats me like crap. Your thoughts and your emotion are also a choice. And that's the part that people tend to look over. They tend to jump straight into action. Like, what can I do right now instead of how can I feel right now? All the things you can find on the internet, including this video, is just something to help you feel better right now about your desires, about being able to achieve those desires. That way you can act and think had you been in that reality. It's like buying a Mac laptop and it's specifically programmed to Apple and you don't like it. So you go out and buy yet another Mac laptop because you think, if I get another one, obviously it's going to be different. But no, it still has the same programming and you're still going to be upset because it's the same thing. It's not a completely different programming. And that right there is action over feeling. So what does it look like to shift? This one right here is super big because so many people will shift and don't even realize that they shifted. It either doesn't look dramatic like the movies, or they don't have their desire yet, or it doesn't look like they got their desire yet. Again, we're going for the feeling, okay? It's gonna happen in the smoothest way possible for everyone involved. There is a building period because you have to become that person that can handle that desire, right? To maintain that desire. If you're a really closed off person right now, but you want a free, loving relationship, the closed off version of you is going to be annoyed. You right now, you might think, oh, I'm gonna love it. Think of all the people right now around you that technically are showing you love, and you're like, no, right? The moment that you get into a loving, free relationship, because you're closed off, that's the complete opposite of you, you're either going to push it away, or you're just going to be triggered beyond belief, okay? In some way, you're going to be triggered. You're either going to be insecure that you're not going to be able to keep it, so then you're going to push it away, or you're going to abandon it, have like abandonment tendencies. You got to become the person that can handle this desire. It looks like the desire being fulfilled emotionally. So a lot of people don't like that. They want the physical, see it, taste it, touch it right now. But the truth of the matter is, you wouldn't build a house and then build a blueprint, because then you'd be mad because you have the wrong type of materials, or you don't like the way that material looks. Same thing. You need to build the blueprint first and then the house, so that you know how it's going to look in the end. You know exactly what material it's going to need, right? There's a building period. You don't want a flimsy house. You don't want that to fall over when a thunderstorm comes through, because then you're going to be mad because you spent so much money on this house and it just blew over with that simple, like, you don't want that. So why would you want that in your manifestation? Why would you want that in reinventing yourself? Why would you want a quick fix, a quick new you that will literally just get swept away with any breeze that comes through? You don't want that. If you can feel it first, you already have it. The universe fills in the rest. Here's the tricky part. Here's where, in my spiritual journey, I couldn't understand, because when I would do these manifestation techniques, it's like, okay, where's my manifestation? Okay, where's my new self? Why am I not getting anything? Well, honey, you have to maintain that feeling more often than not. That needs to become your new normal. So that happiness, that excitedness that you feel because you're getting a new car, you need to feel that every day, regardless of when the car shows up. You need to feel that every day. And that's where I was falling off, because I would feel it for like 2 seconds and it's like, okay, cool, where's my car? No, you need to feel that until that car is in your driveway. And the stronger you can feel it, the longer you can feel it, the faster it will come, because that is energy. And it's basically like a snowball effect. Once it starts and it keeps going and you keep feeling it in the proper way, as in like keeping it good, because we tend to do that thing where we'll start to doubt, which slows it down, or we'll start to add insecurities to it, which slows it down, which goes back to, you need to reprogram, because the insecurities is also what stops you from reinventing yourself and keeping that stability, manifesting any of your desires, quantum jumping, all the same thing. You have to keep that feeling every day, and that's literally the hardest part of manifesting. That's why people have so many techniques. So you just write it down forever and ever, days on end, because it's supposed to keep your focus on it, and it's supposed to make you continuously feel good about it because you're writing about it all the time. That tends to not work for me, because life goes on, life happens. Some people have a job. People just are in the world. They don't live under a rock. So there's going to be moments where you don't feel good. And that kind of goes to your manifestation and changing. But if you change from within, it gets easier. But so often we give our feelings away out of obligation, people pleasing, not believing in ourselves. But you've got to let go. You've got to let the universe cook. You are not supposed to be building the car. You're supposed to be driving the car, okay? You're building the car with your thoughts. You made the blueprint. Now you give it to the people that actually make the car, which in this case would be the universe. Everything is going to happen in the best way possible, with the best intentions for every single person involved. And for some, that does look like losing or changing or expanding. Be aware though, as you begin to shift and change your reality and reinvent yourself, you release a lot. You release a lot of trauma. You release a lot of old things that just don't serve you, like thought patterns, like not believing in yourself. You're going to change a lot. And that's something that a lot of people in their videos don't put, is that how much you change. And it's usually over a gradual period of time, and it's so subtle that to you don't think you change. Like, I'm still the same person, I'm still fun, and I have a personality and things like that. But like, when you go to hang out with other people that you used to hang out with, certain things irritate your soul. Like, certain things you just can't handle. Certain low vibrational things, or certain ways people talk, or certain mindsets, you just genuinely, and not even being mean, you just genuinely cannot handle them anymore. Like, it just is weird. Not weird, but like, because we don't resonate. It's like playing a chord on the piano doesn't sound good, and that's okay. That is more than okay. However, you're gonna come across people that are gonna be like, you've changed a lot. Well, no, duh. I'm switching realities. I'm reinventing myself. I'm quantum jumping. So obviously, to me, I don't seem like I'm a different person, but I have seen every single individual thing change, every single individual thought be released. The thing that I've noticed outside people fear the most is change. Their fear usually shows up as non-supportive or jealous, or making comments or trying to bring you down back to their level, or back to the person that they know you to be. Surrender the need to control the outside world and the people in it. Surrender the feeling of needing to hide yourself. And cry, let yourself cry. Surrendering to the universe literally means stop trying to hold everything together. That's not your job. Your job is to feel good. Your job is to take care of yourself and how you're feeling in any given moment, okay? The power that your thoughts and your attention has should not be given out freely. So what are some methods to help you build a long-term relationship with yourself so that you can shift your reality, so that you can actually get somewhere different? These are the things that I did. The first thing I did was I did night affirmations. I usually do the ones that are like 8 hours long while I actually sleep. Depending on who you find, there's two different versions. There's a you are version, and then there's a I am version. And I started off with the you are because it's like somebody talking to you, and a lot of us are definitely in a place of so much of how we see ourselves is through the eyes of others. I really liked the affirmations because it gave me access to thoughts that I never thought to think in my entire life. Next is to improve your self-talk. And this goes with nightly affirmations, because you can take those nightly affirmations into your daytime, like the ones that you actually hear as you're drifting off to sleep. You can take it into your daytime. And so when something happens, you're like, oh, nope, I am confident. I am at peace. I am all of these things. And one thing I want to really drill into everyone's head is this isn't a quick fix. This is literally something you have to over and over and over again make the choice to do in order to fully shift your reality and to reinvent yourself. If you do it for one day, okay, cool. However, that's not how habits work. If you eat an apple one day, honey, you're not going to lose 10 pounds. That's not how it works. Same thing. You have to actually reprogram your mind. And it's as easy as you want to make it. It doesn't have to be give you carpal tunnel, write down affirmations 108 times. It doesn't have to be that way. It's just, how much do you want this? As in, are you going to consciously, with your mind, make the choice to do different, to think different thoughts, to feel different, to actively want to feel different about situations and about moments and about how you see the world, and also about how you talk to yourself. Okay, this is definitely going to require a lot of reparenting. You did not have a good parent. A lot of your self-talk most likely comes from that, and that's part of the programming. You gotta work on that. You gotta change that. You gotta help her out. The next thing I have is journaling/shadow work, which goes with the first two, because if you don't know where you stand right now, 9 times out of 10 you don't know what you truly desire. You're probably just following the crowd. You're probably just on Pinterest and you're like, ooh, shiny object syndrome, that looks cool, I want that, when in actuality that's not what your heart desires. So I would say journal. Write down everything that comes to your brain, whether you deem it as good or bad. Write it down. I personally don't believe that there's anything good or bad. I believe that there's a balance. You need both sides. You need contrast in order to see anything. Like any art needs contrast. In order to know where you are, journal. In order to know how you have been feeling, you have to treat yourself as if you are another person that you're caring for, which in a way you kind of are, but you've got to treat it like that. Oh, how are you feeling today? What happened today? Let yourself be seen and heard by yourself. Even if you weren't seen or heard in your childhood, or even now, wherever you are, now's the time to let yourself be seen and heard through journaling. Shadow work is basically just questions to get you to think and open up and to allow yourself to have those thoughts and feelings that no longer serve you, so that you can make room for this new higher self, for this new reality. Like I said before, you got to become the person that can handle that desire. You don't want to be closed off trying to get into a loving relationship, because that's going to clash. The person that's really loving is going to feel unloved because you're closed off, you're abandoning them, things like that. They don't deserve that, and you don't deserve that either. So journal, shadow work, understand where you are so that you know where you want to go and how to get there. And the last thing I've got is write a list of all of your fears, or majority of your fears, the ones that you can think of, from irrational, completely that would probably never happen, to that happens every day. That's highly rational. Anybody in their right mind would probably agree with you that you should be afraid of that. Write all those down, and then attempt to soothe yourself through journaling on how you can face those fears. Now, don't take action immediately. Don't just go out running to face these fears, because the whole point is to over and over and over again show yourself that this fear is not a fear that needs to be there, and that only comes from habit. So again, when something comes up, you have thoughts that you've never thought before. B, you know how to talk to yourself in the midst of that situation. You've got your journaling, so you have a place to express it. And then after you write it down, you can think about why this scares you in the first place. I'm gonna give you an example. For me, it was definitely YouTube and being sick. I thought very low of myself, and that no one wants to listen to what I have to say. Like, how am I being helpful to you? I'm not. That's how I started off. And I also feared the comments that people would give me because I'm like, and the core programming of that is confidence. But facing your fear, you've got to take your time with it. You actually have to do it over and over again. It's not like I did it once and I'm okay now. Because if it comes up again, are you going to be able to do it again? And I know I said throw time out the window, but truthfully, facing your fears is the fastest way to switching realities, because you're making different choices, you're becoming a different person. And the only reason you have these fears are to keep you where you are. These fears are to keep you in your comfort zone. These fears are to keep you safe. So, of course, if you're going to start a YouTube channel, that could be millions of people looking at you. It could be thousands, it could be hundreds, but that's still a lot of people with a lot of opinions of you that you have to be okay with. Whether or not somebody says something mean, you've got to be able to know how to handle that. Like, the person in your desired reality knows how to handle the things that comes with the desire. So if you want 1 million subscribers on YouTube, first of all, you've got to be able to maintain what those millions of people want to see. You have to be able to consistently provide content to them. However you got there, that's what you have to maintain. If you can't maintain that, that's why there's a lot of people that have 15 minutes of fame. They'll blow up, but then they don't maintain what they did. Face your fears. Definitely can do it. All of that being said, I hope this video inspired you in some way and helps you reinvent yourself and to become this new person, to quantum jump, to get your desires.